Hello and welcome to another episode of Scott Reads Comics. Today I'll be covering The Invincible Iron Man 160 and 161, published in 1982 by Marvel Comics, and continuing my long journey through Denny O'Neil's 40-plus issue run on Iron Man, which will end around issue 206, I believe. So it's going to take us a bit of time. And some of these we'll do two at a time and some we'll do one at a time. But this time around, we're going to tackle two issues. And we'll start with issue 160, which features an amazing cover by Jim Starlin. Iron Man in battle with the Serpent Squad. So this is pre-Serpent Society. They were the Serpent Squad. This, I believe, is their second appearance after their cool Marvel 2-in-1 Serpent Crown affair, Fracas with the Thing, Triton, Scarlet Witch, and others. So yeah, let's get right into it. Love this corner box with Iron Man here. I think this is Leighton and Romita Jr., or might just be Leighton on the corner box. And this was obviously a direct sales book because we have the Diamond Distribution logo on the left-hand corner. And again, this Jim Starlin cover is really, really nice. Okay. We're going to move in. Our credits: Denny O'Neil's the scripter, Steve Ditko's the penciler, Dan Green is the inker, Rick Parker's the letterer, Don Warfield is the colorist, Marie Severin does the splash page, Mark Grunwald is the editor, and Jim Shooter is the editor-in-chief. And the title is A Cry of Beasts. So yeah, this is definitely not Ditko. This is fantastic Marie Severin cartooning here on this splash page. And I'm not sure, there has to be a story of why Marie Severin did the splash page and not Ditko, as he does the rest of the story. I don't know that story. So here we have a nightmarish looking Tony Stark as Iron Man, obviously drunk. And then, again, this is the beginning of the second Demon in a Bottle saga. And so after that, there's a caption that reads, and somewhere a voice is screaming, no, no. And we have Tony Stark awakening from a nightmare. That dream again, that nightmare, my personal horror. I haven't had a drink in over a year, yet I can almost taste the liquor. It's probably on my mind because of that party I have to attend tonight, where there'll be gallons of alcohol. But I can't get out of it gracefully. I'm the only one who can explain what has to be explained. Being a millionaire industrialist has its drawbacks. I'd better check with my secretary. Mrs. Arbogast, is everything arranged for tonight? Of course, Mr. Stark. You'll pick up your date at 6. She's that cheap person from the television program. Switch me to Martinelli. Morning, Vic. Things ready at your end? Guards will be at every entrance to the zoo. Good men, too. Fine. See you later. So Stark is having another one of his big bashes where he's going to discuss some project or initiative, and it's going to be at the local zoo, of all places. And we switch to the zoo where a guard is approached by this mysterious cloaked individual, and then suddenly that guard is dead. He is dead. Come. The lighted building is where the celebration is to occur. Yes, but our goal is elsewhere within these walls. And as the night breeze carries the scent of the intruders to the cages, the beasts begin to growl and whine and cry. And again, reiterating, love these D&D ads. Wish they were collected into some kind of volume. It might be a fun project to actually track these down, put them in order, scan them, and get them into some kind of PDF form. Really nice, cool, love them. Sometime later, so again, we have O'Neill is setting us up here. Tony's at the party and directly confronted with alcohol, including his date, who appears to be a bit of an overindulger herself, to say the least. An excellent 25-year-old Scotch. I'm sure it's excellent, but I'll pass. Well, I won't. In fact, I'll drink Tony's for him, and mine and everybody else's. Wonderful, just what I need, a lush. Okay, so Tony's pretty harsh considering his own background and struggles with alcohol. And here he goes, he's making his pitch. Thank you. As most of you know, we're celebrating the installation of a system my company devised, a system built around the gadget here, a microcomputer scanner which actually reads the zoo animals' bodies, then mixes the correct feed for each of them, and delivers it automatically and at precisely the correct time to the cages. It also monitors the entire area for fires, intrusions, and disturbances, and sends an alarm to central control room. Actually, that control room was the only glitch in the whole project. We had to change the location at the last minute. At that moment, the three cloaked intruders removed their outer garments to stand revealed as the Serpent Squad. So we have Black Mamba, Anaconda, and Death Adder. Hey Mamba, this ain't the control room. It's an empty chamber. The information we were given is obviously incorrect, Anaconda. Looks like we'll have to prowl around the grounds, find where they move the controls. So while this balloon looks like it's going to Death Adder, it's actually Anaconda because Death Adder doesn't speak, he's mute. Right, but our employer would prefer us not to be spotted. We'll need to create a diversion. So awesome panel here by Ditko and Green where the Anaconda shows off her incredible superhuman strength. Ha! Snapping steel bars to free beasties is nothing compared to freeing you mugs from a couple of tons of silt during our first fiasco together. So she references their fate at the end of the Serpent Crown affair. And here they free the animals. Now we can continue our search. Do you suppose they will attack a human? We can only hope. So they're pretty murderous, these serpent squatters. Soon to be Serpent Society founding members, each of the three of them. So at this point, Tony's date is pretty drunk and he wants to try to get her home, and then a disturbance is noticed. Let's see here. So the dead guard is discovered, the one Mamba killed a few pages ago, and Stark wants his head of security to get to the bottom of it. And he sees that the animals are out. To put it mildly, half the animals in the zoo are running loose. Gonna call the dog catcher? No, someone else. So here we have a cool transformations page where Stark puts on the Iron Man armor and he carries his briefcase around. I always thought it'd be cool in the old Mego days to have a Tony Stark action figure who comes with the briefcase and you open it up and there'd be the folded up Iron Man outfit in there. Even if it was just molded, it would have been cool to see that, a nice touch. So moving along here, Tony begins to confront the animals. I'll set my Unibeam searchlight intensity and voila, there's my first customer lurking in a dark corner. Nice kitty. A dose of repulsor shouldn't hurt him. Just put him to sleep for a while. But his pals seem upset and hungry. I can't tell if they want to attack me or him. Sorry guys, no between meal snacks allowed. So he's pretty powerful. He's doing a good job here corralling these animals, except this gorilla gets away from them. An ape and a tiger are still unaccounted for. Ah, there's the big monkey, lumbering toward the shadows. Holy, whatever it is that killed him. Did it with a single blow. Maybe if I can catch the slasher, I'll get some answers. So here you got Death Adder doing what he does, dealing death with those poisonous claws. And of course, Tony Stark's date is getting herself into trouble, and she is rescued by Iron Man. And they learn a little more about the dead guard, how he died calling the name of his wife. So learning that. I want to comment here, just stop, because this is a nice page showcasing the art. At this point in his career, I'm not the biggest Steve Ditko fan, but this is a nice workmanlike effort on the pencils on this book, and Dan Green's inks are really nice too. This is a good-looking Iron Man. Some of the posing is maybe a little stilted, a little static, but Ditko is a good storyteller and does a nice job here. So, of course, Death Adder is going to threaten Tony's date for the evening because she just stumbles into their way. At last, here is what we seek, the computer and the microscanner which makes it work. What a fool Stark must be, not to realize it can power a weapon. For what can scan a body's function can be adjusted to disrupt them. The moment our employer heard of that, the scanner, they realized that. You can't hurt me, I belong to the Union. Finish her and let us depart. Quiet, someone is coming. So it's, I think this is Vic Martinelli, his security chief. You there, Stark? Your secretary phoned. Said you should get in. Oh my, you people are not authorized to be here. Oh yeah, that's not Martinelli. That's the guy who was introducing Stark earlier at the event. Let me see if I can spot him here. Yeah, here he is here. So they're going to test this as a weapon on him, and how nice of him to be our guinea pig. The test is a success. So pretty rough here in this great panel. This reminds me of old Ditko here, really nice. This guy's just dead after one shot. Now kill the female, and let's be the Serpent Squad, I presume. Sorry we didn't meet earlier. I was a bit tardy in realizing what you had to be after. Oh great, the guy with the 10-inch talons has his hands at Muffy's throat. I'd better be careful. And a fight ensues. Anaconda tries to constrict Iron Man with pleasure. And when I get it off, I'll crush his skull like a rotten eggshell. Now, when they think I'm helpless, I'll channel my electrical charge through my helmet and a beam of heat, intensive laser to the liquor flask. As I expected, the alcohol exploded and momentarily startled the adder. It's released Muffy's long enough to give me a clean shot with my repulsors. And let's end it the old-fashioned way. 2 down and only 1 to where to go. There is the corner. No, what are you doing here? So it's Bethany McCabe, and this is obviously the work of Black Mamba. And Tony Stark shows an incredible amount of willpower here in resisting. Love? The murdered guard probably loved his wife, Janny, but she wasn't there, yet he saw someone. Just as I'm seeing Pepper, Bethany. No, gotta snap out of it. Exert my will. See what exists, not what she wants me to see. Nice try. How do you do it? Hypnosis? You cause an illusion, don't you? Make yourself appear to be the person your victim loves most. The gun, please. Your willpower is strong, as is your mental skin. But can they withstand this? Tearing me, wrenching at my insides. Pain so great I can't think. But I must force myself to step forward, reach out, and strike. Limbs trembling, I can hardly stand. Without my armor, I wouldn't have had a chance. Even with it, I was hurt bad. I'd better inspect the damage. Beneath the alloy, flesh and blood, battered and bruised. Could have been worse, I guess. I'll live. Tony Stark had better retire for a while. Iron Man can do whatever's left to be done, including figure out how that scanner could be changed into a weapon. That shouldn't have happened. Maybe I'm slipping, not keeping tabs on Stark International designs like I should. I'd... Help, Muffy. Snakes crawling all over me. They aren't there, except in your mind. For Muffy Cuddle, the past few weeks has been one long party. Tonight she begins paying for them. And Tony Stark stands pitying her, wondering if he himself will ever be free of the nightmare at the bottom of the bottle. So it's pretty heavy-handed foreshadowing of what's to come here. And we have printed circuits, which is our Iron Man letter column. Let's just see if there's any notable letter writers in here. I don't see any of the usual. Here's one who I encounter quite a bit, Mike Sopp from Erie, PA. Is there any chance of seeing the Jack of Hearts, the Guardsman, and the Wraith again? Think what type of team they'd make. if the astonishing Ant-Man was added to their ranks. In fact, now that I think of it, why not write Giant Man into the series, too, since he is out at Stark West? Just one question, Mike. What about Iron Man? You didn't say anything about the Golden Avenger. So, pretty great. I love these letters, love reading them. Brings me back to a more innocent time of comic collecting for sure. And on to Iron Man 161. And we have a great cover from Ed Hannigan and Al Milgrom. And only Moon Knight can save him. So this issue is notable because this is the first Luke McDonnell penciling issue. And from this point until the mid-190s, Luke McDonnell is pretty much the penciler on Iron Man, which I love a long run like that. And I'm a huge Luke McDonnell fan, so it's going to be great to be along for this ride. Since I mentioned the penciler, let's look at the full credits. Denny O'Neil scripter, Luke McDonnell penciler, Mike Esposito and Steve Mitchell inks, Rick Parker letterer, Bob Sharon colorist, Mark Grunwald editor, Jim Shooter editor-in-chief. If the Moon Man should fall. So that is our title. Water hisses and boils and steams, steel blisters and buckles, microcircuitry clicks and whirs with inhuman efficacy as the Golden Avenger tumbles through the depths. One more blast, one more beam, and I'll know. Okay, my questions are answered. My weapons function perfectly in salt water at subsea pressures, as they always have. I do not understand why Mr. Stark gives his mere bodyguard the run of the resources. Then again, you don't have to understand, Smedley, do you? How do you know my name? That's telling him, Shellhead. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Anytime, Iron Man. It was probably not necessary to give my weapon systems that workout, but sometimes I wonder if I hope for trouble. But it doesn't hurt to be prepared. After all, I will be taking a little underwater trip today. Project Neptune, I believe, is called as an experimental power generator facility 12 miles off the coast of New York City. The company's manufactured many of the components in use there. So, as a backer part of this Project Neptune, Iron Man will be going in his alter ego of Tony Stark. However, before they get there, AIM shows up. We represent the secret society of subversive technologists known as AIM. What is the meaning? And in any case, you haven't guessed, we're taking over your little project here and preparing a small surprise for your guests. So they're walking into a trap, and who exactly is it? Well, it's Tony Stark, Stephen Grant, and Sissy Host II, a wealthy aristocrat type. My fortune is worth more than the two of yours put together, so mind your manners. Do you boys think the Project Neptune is worth what they're asking us to invest in it? That's what we're going to learn. Me, I'm along for the ride. I'm merely rich. I don't have the kind of bucks you two have. Submarine's ready to cast off, folks, if you'll kindly step aboard. So we get some pretty cool underwater sequences here. And the sub arrives at Project Neptune, and the occupants are welcomed, of course, by the agents of AIM. Step forward and keep your hands in sight. Move. Oh, great. I certainly recognize those goons. Good thing they don't know I'm Iron Man. So, of course, Tony has his trusty briefcase, and we know what's in there. Meanwhile, Stephen Grant, who is secretly Moon Knight, takes charge and gets involved in a more direct manner. And then we'll be offed? No thanks. Wait, Grant. These men are armed and dangerous. I'm no pushover myself, Stark. Grant may be reckless, but he did buy me a chance to slip away while they're busy with him. Maybe I can find a place to change into my armor. Hey, he's getting away. Stop him. I wouldn't have a prayer, but Iron Man can take them. I have only a few seconds before they find me. Long enough, perhaps, for Iron Man to leap into the fray. Grant has more guts than most of those playboy types. I only hope his courage didn't cost him his life. They've probably got Grant and Mrs. Host under the gun, and the dome's crew too. I can't attack them directly, or the hostages could get killed. I'll exit via the emergency airlock for a sneaky way back in. Now then, my associates and I have an appointment on the Prince Street. Sorry, we can't keep you company during your interrogation, but we've rigged this place to take care of such menial tasks. You're taking the submarine? No, the escape pods. We have other plans for the boat. What? The AIM troops are abandoning the dome, leaving just one pod. That means there's no means of escape for all those hostages unless I can reach the sub. Oh, great. The sub blew up. There isn't anything but scrap metal left. What? With AIM gone, there's no point in being careful anymore. I may as well enter and sign in. Hello, the name's Iron Man. I got a message from Stark, and look out. The maintenance robots have been programmed to repel intruders. No kidding. So Stark breaks out here. His armor's proof against these simple robots. Iron Man, the electromagnet booby-trapped. I know, buddy, I know. So he's able to blast his way out of that by getting his repulsors to activate. And then we have a more humanoid problem to deal with. Save the applause and try to find the master control. Uh-oh, you've got another problem. Sure do. The biggest jack-in-the-box I've ever seen. Probably the meanest, too. Wonder what its original purpose was. There are no crowds down here to scare. It's certainly nothing Stark designed. I haven't got much juice left. My solar cells need a bit longer to re-energize, but there is enough to zap a few of that thing's circuits. Now, before it can recover, I'll just end this waltz with some crude, old-fashioned brawling. Oh, great. Is there no end to the fun and games in this undersea penny arcade? Here comes the ugliest one yet. So again, Iron Man forced to battle yet another robotic foe. Nice long panel here too. Good work by McDonnell. He draws a very fluid Iron Man. I like it. More trouble, mister? Not exactly. While you were fighting those tin muggers, we checked things out. There's only one of the pods left, which means just one of us has a means of escape. You found the radio? Yeah, and raised the Coast Guard. Only thing is, it'll be 15 hours before they can send another submarine down. We'll be okay, I guess, as long as we don't get on each other's nerves. Hey, what's going on over there? Another robot? At the airlock. Ripping it open. It must have been programmed to kill everyone if anything went wrong with AIM's plan. You managed the robot all right, but what about the airlock? I can force it closed, but I can't make it stay that way. It's part plastic, can't be welded. And the electrical locking mechanism is unlike any I've ever seen. It should be operating, but it isn't. Get on that radio, get hold of the designer, and ask where the emergency circuits are. Let me be sure I understand you. You say the designer, Darryl Flowers, was fired from Cross Technologies, and nobody else there understands this stuff well enough to answer Iron Man's question? We'll put you in the last pod. You can be on the Coast Guard ship in half an hour. Don't talk, young man, do it. So Miss Host is having some health problems, and here Stephen Grant does something interesting. No, wait, don't put her in there. Why not, Grant? Because I'm taking the pod. Step aside. But you're condemning Sissy Host to death. Listen, I hope the old Bert lives to be 100. But if not, tough. It's my skin I'm worried about. So Grant plays the role of the selfish rich man, takes the last pod, but we're going to see he's got an ulterior motive here. I just discovered a hole in the outer skin. Must have happened during the fight. You'd better close the inner airlock. No matter what I do, I can't make this outer lock airtight. But Iron Man, you'll be trapped between the inner and outer walls. That can't be helped. If I release the lock, the entire dome will be flooded. Well, if you insist. So Iron Man is left heroically between the two doors, trying to forestall the incoming sea. Stephen Grant makes it back to the Coast Guard ship and quickly gets back, forces them to take him back to land to New York so he can assume the guise of Moon Knight. So he's got a bold move here. He's going to try to fix the problem from the land, or he was sort of powerless to do anything to help at sea. Any news? AIM has just broadcasted commands. It'll disable the robots and repair the airlock by remote control in exchange for industrial secrets. Apparently, the bad guys don't know the robots are disabled. But we've got a worse problem. A whole ocean's worth of a problem. I only hope he is an Iron Man, inside and outside. Moon Knight doing some detective work here. What have you learned of these flowers, Mark? That he was one of the best in his field and that he's a junkie. Seems his weekend habits started to spill over into his work week, and he got fired. Since then, he's vanished into the city's underbelly. That's where we come in. We know a lot about that underbelly, and we have freedom of movement. The authorities don't. Down there, Frenchie, that's the kind of place flowers may be found in. So he's looking for the engineer who can give them the ability to access the control panel to seal the Neptune up so that everyone in it, besides Iron Man, doesn't die. So we get this sequence. He's in this drug den. Pretty cool fight sequence here. Back off, bozos. I'm not looking for trouble. You got it anyhow, funny man. No fruitcake hits our turf without asking first. How about you? Can I hit you without asking? Twalk. Great long panel. I love these long panels. I said I wasn't looking for trouble, but I'm not running from it either. Matter of fact, I'm rather good at making trouble myself. You've got until my fist touches your face to tell me where Flowers is. I don't know. He ain't been around, I swear. So, comes up short there. That's the last joint on my list. And zip, no sign of Flowers. Meanwhile, the water is rising still on Iron Man. Exact situation at the Project Neptune Dome, unknown, but it is believed grave. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Daryl Flowers is asked to call police at the number you see on your screen. When's our buddy Flowers supposed to arrive, Dookie? Another 15 minutes. He gonna be real unhappy when he don't get the dope we promised him. Yeah. He'll probably gonna tell the cops. No, he ain't, 'cause I'll be curing his misery permanent. So, Moon Knight gets a key clue here as to the whereabouts of Flowers. You're my last chance, Crawley. You find anything out? My diligent inquiries may have borne some small fruit. The address of the city's newest drug purveyors. Thanks for this. Yet another one I owe you. Meanwhile, Iron Man continues to struggle. I'm completely submerged, breathing the air in my armor. It'll be gone in half an hour. Then I'll release my grasp, and an ocean wall pour in, smash the inner door, and finish everyone. I have millions of dollars right now, and I'd trade them for a few more gulps of air. In Manhattan, okie dokie, you have the merchandise. I got customers waiting. We got something better. Daryl, baby. Daryl Flowers, you're not very choosy about the company you keep. What the? You with the blade, forget it. You too, punk. You are Flowers, the man who designed Project Neptune's airlock system? Yes. Frenchie, is the chopper ready? Will you, Mark? Patch me through to the dome, Mr. Flowers. Has some things to say. The channel to the cable serving Project Neptune is open. Hello, this is Daryl Flowers, and I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in trouble down there. So Flowers gives them the information. They're able to access it and properly lock out the outer door, sealing it and saving Iron Man and everyone else on the Neptune. Moon Knight, eh? I wonder how he got involved. I'll probably never learn. He's possibly the strangest do-gooder of us all. Certainly the most mysterious. But if he ever wants a job with Stark International, he's got it. Not only is my armor really drained, I'm nearly exhausted, but there's one more task. I'm told those AIM goons mentioned Prince Street, and this is the only place in the area that might serve as a hideout. If I'm wrong, I'll pay for a new window. So another great long panel. Love this undersea environment the artists are depicting here. A good job by Luke McDonald. Iron Man! You nearly murdered many innocent people, including an old woman who may still not recover. I will not tolerate such terrorist tactics. I cannot tolerate them. You've chosen to ignore the rules of civilization. Therefore, you will be stopped. You will pay. Might as well hold the speech. Nobody's left awake to hear me. Not that a few words of reason would make any difference to men with such warped ideologies as these. I'll leave them for the police while I return to the dome. There are the service subs. Right on schedule. I may have barely enough time to re-enter at the rear and switch to Tony Stark. Stark, there you are. You can come out of hiding. The danger's past. No thanks to that crumb Grant. Glad to hear it. So that's the end of our tale. Quick check of printed circuits. Again, we'll see what letters we have on offer here. I'm going to read this short one from Bart Carter from Bracksville, Ohio. Dear Marvel, Iron Man 157 has to be the most offbeat story since 101, in which he fought Frankenstein's monster, remember? The art and story was superb. Keep up the wonderful work. Okay, so now up, there's another one of those great D&D ads. Great artwork by Bill Willingham on those. Okay, so that has been Iron Man 160 and 161. And we'll keep peppering in our Iron Man coverage on the march to 205 or 206, the complete Denny O'Neil run, as we move along on the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll bring you more soon on Scott Reads Comics. Thanks for watching.